In the early 1900s, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef was looking to get married, but he had a very big problem. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, as we know, was a very big Talmid Chacham, but he was also very poor. He lived in abject poverty, crushing poverty. And as a result, he couldn't find a girl. No girl wanted to marry him. The girls wanted to marry boys who came from homes who had money. And he didn't have that. And all his friends were getting married, and he was left all alone. He was lonely. And finally, when he was older in his 20s, he met a girl. And they got engaged. And in those days, they made a tanoim. They wrote a star that says, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef is engaged to this and this girl. Right before the wedding, approximately a week before the wedding, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef and this girl to get married were going out. They went out. And this girl says to Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, I want to tell you something. I am ready and I'm willing to support you in your Torah learning. I'm going to be your backbone. But I'm asking you one thing. I also need time for myself. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef says, Avada, you need time for yourself? Of course. So what does it mean, time for yourself? She says, I want to go to the movies. Sometimes I want to go to the movies. He says, movies? Mazeh movie. And she starts to describe to him what a movie is. And in those days, in the early 1900s, you know what the movie was? Tarzan. It was the first movie, Tarzan. So she says, Tarzan. He says, Mazeh Tarzan. He says it's a guy flying from tree to tree, me'etz le'etz. He says, okay, and how long is this? She says, an hour and a half. He says, what's the purpose? I don't understand this. It's a waste of time. She says, no, my friends go and I go, and I want to do it also, and I want to do it with you. I need it. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef went home, and he thought about this. And he says, this is not for me. It's a waste of time. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef wasn't concerned about tznius. That was not the issue in the 1900s, in the early 1900s, of immodesty. His problem was that he only wanted to learn Torah and not sit in a theater and watch a movie. And this is what you wanted. He spoke to his Rebbeim at length, and with guidance, they told him, you need to break the shidduch. It's not for you. He was devastated. He waited so long to find a girl. He's poor as can be. And how is he going to find a shidduch now? A broken engagement? No money? What are the chances? But he knew this wasn't for him. His Rebbeim told him it's not for him. He went out with her the next day. He says, I want to talk to you. I want to tell you something. I don't think this is for us. I don't think I could support the lifestyle that you want. And therefore, it's not going to be a productive marriage. And he left. She was dejected, sad. So much so that she went to Bezdin and made a claim against him that he broke a contract. He broke the Tanoim. And he was summoned to Bezdin. Bezdin told him, he's fine, he's clear. He didn't do anything wrong. One day went over to Rabbi Ovadia Yosef on his own, in a room. He said, I want to tell you something. You're right, min halacha, you're right, you did nothing wrong. You owe her nothing. She wanted a large amount of money for breaking the Tanoim. He says, but she's in such pain, in such agony. I want to give you advice. Do a chesed for a girl who's in pain and pay her back the amount of money she's claiming from you. She says, but I don't have a way. I don't have money myself. He says, go clean a base medrash, bind svarim, and with that money you'll pay her up slowly. And that's exactly what Rabbi Ovadia Yosef did. For the pain of someone else, the respect of someone else, despite the fact that he didn't have money, he went, he bound svarim, cleaned the base medrash, made pennies, paid it back to her, and relieved himself of the debt that he owed her, but not really owed her. It was a pure chesed. Fast forward 70 years. Rabbi Yosef married a wonderful woman. Her name was Rebbetzin Margolit. And they had the wonderful family with Talmidei Chachamim. 70 years later, there's a knock at his door. He's in his 90s already. He's not well. He doesn't see visitors anymore. He has a gabbai, and there's a knock at the door. So, well, who's at the door? The guy wants to, who's at the door? We know there's no more Kabbalah's Kahal. She's knocking and knocking. Finally, the gabbai opens up the door and sees this older woman hunched over. He says, what do you want? What can I do for you? He says, I want to see the Rav. He says, you can't see the Rav. The Rav is weak. The Rav is sick. He's not seeing visitors. Tell the Rav, I'm his Zivig Rishon. I'm his first girl. The gabbai, which I believe was his son, says, what? I didn't hear about this. It can't be. He went into his father, Rav Vadia, and says, there's someone at the door, a woman claiming she's your Zivig Rishon. Rav Vadia says, call her in. She comes into the office of Rav Vadia, and she says, remember me? He says, yes. And she starts to say her sorrowful story. She lived a life of poverty. She married a husband. He died. She's been alone. She has no money. Rav Vadia Yosef says to his son, take care of her. Give her, from my salary, from my check, money every month to pay her rent. Make sure she has food in her refrigerator and her cupboard until the day she dies. Not until when I die. She dies. The woman says, that's not why I came. I didn't come to tell you my sorrowful story. I came to tell you something else. He says, Mazeh. She says, I want to tell you how lucky you are, how fortunate you are, how wise you are. What do you mean? I was never able to have children. I never had a child. Couldn't have a child. If you would have stayed with me, you would never have had a family of children. Only because you made the wise decision did you marry your wonderful Rebbetzin and have this amazing family. You are benched. Could you imagine? 7 decades later, Rabbi Vadia Yosef found out why he had to break an engagement. Could you imagine what he was going through at that time? How hurtful it was, how painful it was. But he withstood it. And Hashem showed him 70 years later that it was really and truly a bracha. What do we take away from this? We have to live life forward and understand it backwards. Just move on. Maybe one day we'll understand why certain events had to happen, why certain doors were closed on us, and why certain paths in our life just didn't make sense. And this is what Vayichi teaches us. We don't need to understand the storm. You just need to be faithful inside the storm.